Need the key to the interrogation room. There's some gold in here. 10 gold, easy.
Okay, so this is going to be the sort of a special, not really clan war, but
No,
B
7
team,
gold.
Team Ascension B team playing a member of the Team Ascension A team, which would be MyDarling, and it's basically like a clan war. That's all kill, but not all kill, pro league, but she's like every player on the team. So, yeah. Travis, you want to change the title?
Yeah. We're probably just gonna use last season's
User
map
joined
pool.
your channel.
Wait, what?
Based on it.
We're not using the current map pool?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll do.
Hello.
I was gonna say, Travis, we're not using dream pool maps. No, no, no.
Sorry, by last season I forgot that dream pool. Well, you know.
Oh, Travis, I like how you put MyDarling versus B team instead of B team versus MyDarling.
Yeah, I see
how you did that.
I changed that up. I changed it real quick.
How does one person has more priority over a whole team? Fuck that.
Well,
They that up.
Wait, so is this thing like all kill or like pro league?
That's some scary shit.
Like, let's say,
It's gonna
okay,
be-
so it's
literally good. Yeah, it really doesn't matter if it's all kill or pro league.
it'd be pretty interesting if it was all kill, because then it'd be like someone goes up, and if they like beat her, they play her again.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Right.
Yeah,
So this
I
is
didn't
going to
think
be
about
the
So Raze will be casting up until he has to play or whatever. And
yeah. If you want me to do first person through when I'm playing, I can do that.
yeah,
All right.
that might
Do we have a co-cast? Starlight said he doesn't mind casting either, but he just needs somebody who's.
But I'm playing first as well.
Yeah, he's
so
playing
I won't be
first.
able to cast that one.
Are you?
Obviously.
Are you really?
That's what they
Are
say.
you?
Man, I'm gonna go in. Destroy this.
Why don't we get Camper to cast?
Oh God.
I'm gonna message him. Where the fuck is he?
He's
not
in here.
the
He should
Oh,
be
no,
able
right.
no,
Camper.
sorry, he's right up.
Yeah, what's up? Sorry, I have music on.
Camker, do you want to co-cast with me?
You're gonna co-cast with Raze.
I can't hear you guys enough. Hang on, I'll unmute it, or I'll turn my music down after this game. Sorry.
No speak the English.
All right, I heard that. I can
No.
hear Conviction laughing. Maybe if you guys talk really loud, just like yell for me.
You're gonna co-cast against. You're gonna co-cast this clan war.
Still can't hear. So I'll unmute after this game.
Oh, you fucking
Camker.
Totally,
Co-cast.
I can hear like every other word from you guys. Sorry.
heard that.
I feel like he's dodging.
Yeah, he's pretty done.
Total dodge. Total.
Alright, first map will be Overgrowth.
Yes.
My garment picked over, bro.
What about
Oh,
Ascension?
Starlight, does she know what
Oh.
you're gonna do?
Oh, we were gonna give her first
No?
pick. since
Because
she
I'm
hasn't
guessing
been
you're
Oh,
gonna
really?
be
You think
drop.
so?
Yeah.
Okay, no, never
So
mind
is
then.
there 5 my darling or 1
No.
my darling?
5.
Starlight, I saw your game versus
Oh my god, it's fucking Frost.
versus who was it?
Nope,
Cranks
nope,
Karen on stream.
Nope, 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 nope,
Oh
nope,
yeah?
nope,
How'd it go?
nope,
Yeah, the game where like
nope, nope,
he scouted that you were going for a DT War Prism, and then he just tried to kill the War Prism with his army, but you just killed his whole army with like 4
yeah.
DTs.
That was so funny. That was
Yeah,
funny.
that was-
He just ran his
that
army
was
in.
pretty
Oh,
funny.
so good. Dude, that happens all the time. They always try and target the war prison. Like, I'm more than happy to lose that war prison. But if I drop my 5 or 6 DTs, whatever it is, your army's already dead.
User joined
Yeah.
your channel.
Yeah, as much as you want. It's hilarious. That's all you
Oh, what's up,
ever
so
do.
stuff? Troy.
Hey, Troy can co-cast with you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're
Troy,
like-
you want to co-cast?
Who am I co-casting?
That would be me.
Wait, your name's Troy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Daedra?
No.
Yeah, they're the same person.
No.
This guy is better than
We just call him
Daedra.
Soul Steel when he's not high.
But no, does Troy, do you want to cast with Raze?
I don't know. Casting
Raze is a
kinda-
good
I
caster.
suck at.
He's not ready to handle that honor, right, Travis?
I suck at casting.
I mean, come on. It's up to you in the end.
This, I mean,
I suck
I'm
at
guessing this
casting,
is
but
going to be
Travis
pretty
think-
laid
Travis
back.
thinks I
I
can
don't
cast
think
pretty
it's
good.
really going to be super serious.
I know. I still.
Super serial, you guys. Come on.
I'd cast her.
Yeah,
I need
try
no regret with me.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Alright, I guess she ended up picking Overgrowth regardless, so.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Why
Yeah.
not play on the new maps? Jeez.
Well, no.
The new maps are
map,
amazing.
next season's map pool is gonna be so bad. Like, it's not gonna be dream level,
Yeah.
dream pool level bad, but like,
No, I haven't seen it. What are we looking at?
they got rid of all the macro maps, like all the
They got
decent, like
rid of
average
all the
macro maps,
best
and they
maps,
replaced them with
literally.
maps that are either impossible to take a third on, or just like super large with a whole bunch of expansions.
Really?
They
Which I mean,
literally
I
got
think
rid
you
of
can either
all the
have
best
a
maps.
medium-sized
For this
map
season.
with quite a few expansions, or a larger map with like the same number of expansions. I don't think having a massive map with a whole lot of expansions is a good idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, where were you last weekend?
Last weekend? What happened last weekend? Oh, yeah, I wasn't even home. I thought I had like something I had to do, and Travis messaged me, and so I wasn't even fucking home. And I came home, and then it was like it started like an hour or something. So I told Travis, let me know if he needs me, and I'll get online.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready
Damn,
to go?
apologies.
Who are we waiting
any
on?
second now.
No, that's alright.
Travis, what does the D team get if we win this?
Get
A
some
pat on the
pride.
back.
We get honor.
You get a pat on the back.
I know,
And
right?
somewhere else too.
And possibly a tumor.
That was a really good impersonation. I'll give you that.
That was really good. Who did that one?
Must be a two.
Alright, Raze, I can confess this with you if you'd like.
Wait,
I
Yeah,
want-
who's,
but you can't
who's
cast
co-casting
it
with me?
here
I can
'cause
if you'd
I'm
like.
playing.
yes, please.
Do you wanna move me?
Yeah, I'm
Big
with
shot.
Starlight.
User was moved out of your channel.
Hey, Travis.
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing wants to join B team.
I should let him try out. I think he's
uh,
skill-wise, he's actually.
Travis,
What?
nothing.
Darren me Raze. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna move us both down.
Wait, I gotta go down.
Alright, yeah, you gonna move me to another channel so I can do these
User joined
sick
your channel.
introductions?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Well, I mean, I don't really want to alt-tab, so...
Alright.
Because I lag when I come back in.
Awning
Because
in
I'm not
the,
in windowed.
awning in the bottom left as our pink Protoss. Representing the B team in this first game, we have Dragon Knight, aka Starlight. And
And-
spawning. Oh, okay.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Oh god, so awkward. Okay, spawning in the top right. She is defending her A team pride here. Her A team title. We have MyDarling.
You want to, like, switch to my view, or I switch to your view, or something like that, so we both are looking at the same thing?
I'll just follow your view.
User was moved to your
Alright.
channel.
So
Okay,
many
so-
messages.
Nothing crazy so far. Dragon Knight's using all his Chrono Boost, so it's not going to be some sort of super early all-in.
Right.
And MyDarling is going Barracks first, which I don't actually know if she opens Reaper versus Protoss. Like, I mean, usually if you're gonna go into something weird, like, especially now it's super popular to go gas first, and then you, like, just proxy a factory or something. Or you do what Maru did, in SPL, like, last night or whatever, where it was a really sick build where he proxied his factory and his starport after going gas first, and he dropped 2 mines and 2 Hellions and 1 mine into the main while hitting the natural with like 5 Marines and an SCV.
Ow. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, that was at like 6 minutes. So double gas from Drag Knight. He's putting 3 in one, and looks like 3 in the other. So this could be something super aggressive early on, and looks like it is. Was that a 10 gate? Did I miss that, or was that a 12 gate?
I
think that was a 12 gate.
Yeah, I want to say 12. And then we see the probe here on the side getting ready for that proxy.
So MyDarling's opening. I guess that was a 13 gas. Starting off with a Marine.
Not gonna lie, I did warn her. I told her Soulsteel's got the cheesy stuff.
Soul Steel.
Sorry, not what is it?
Soul Steel. Travis.
Yeah, apparently she's
Know
playing
your
Soul
players.
Steel. Playing Soul Steel. He's a Zerg. No, but I told her that Dragon Knight or Starlight does the cheesy stuff.
So yeah, she is scouting with an SCV, but again, this is that moment where it's probably proxy Stargate with this, but it could be the other thing it really could be is proxy DTs, which I mean he also does, but that's mostly in PvP I think, because
Right,
that's
so-
the only time you'll only have one pylon at your base.
Assuming that she continuously pumps out Marines, she should be able to hold off the Oracle, right?
You'd think so, but what Dragon Knight's doing this build really well, where he gets the Stalker, and what you do is you send the Stalker in, you poke away at the Marines, and then you just kill all the Marines with the Stalker and the Oracle, and
Wow.
it looks really retarded when you're watching it. And MyDarling's taking like a middle of the road build, sort of like she's getting out Marines, but she's also getting out a factory, which will help versus later all-ins. But no Widowmine's going to be out in time before this hits, and she is going to have 6 Marines, which will die to 1 Stalker and 1 Oracle.
Okay.
Like what you need to do is, if you're open like Reaper Expand, you need to, the second you scout the build, throw it on an NG bay. You need to, hopefully you're building your CC on the high ground, but if not, you need to lift it there. You need to build a turret in your mineral line, a turret by your production, and a turret at your front, and a bunker at your front. And then you can hold.
The Oracle is about to come in.
Okay, so he's not going to just go for the Marines, I guess, because he already took damage on the Stalker.
Right.
But he could have gotten that Marine and got off with only taking shield damage, I think, maybe a little bit of health. But
Yeah,
he's
Widowmine
not
has
doing
already
the
health.
damage he wants to just yet.
So this is shut down essentially at this point, right?
No, because if you look at my vision, there are 3 more gateways coming in.
Right.
Yeah, she's gonna need bunkers. I prefer Widowmines over tanks in this scenario, but maybe like 1 tank would be a good idea. Just because having the Widowmines out forces the Oracles to constantly use Revelation, and it forces the army movement to be a lot more careful. Getting close to that Widowmine, not killing anything just yet. Picking off Marines. Ooh, just barely gets out. That's clutch.
That Widowmine is definitely going to cover that mineral line though, so she doesn't have to worry.
Yeah,
much
but the
about
big thing coming out is the Void Ray, which is going to be a Void Ray 4-gate, which you really sort of need missile turrets to stop, and she's not going to have. Like, if Dragon Knight can actually pick off the Widowmines using the combination of the Oracles and Stalkers and the Void Ray, then he's just going to steamroll through the bunker, because you're going to need like 3-4 bunkers to stop this.
I see. His round of stalkers coming in.
Yeah,
Oracles are actually sneaking around the top here. Smart by him.
If he had gone for a 3rd Oracle, he'd be able to like fight those Marines, but MyDarling, seeing this, should probably guess that it's a Void Ray. I don't think you should be poking in. What you want to do with this build is, well, there are multiple ways you can go about it. Like you can just try to mass up and all in and snipe off the Widowmines, but the Widowmine isn't in a good position, so that's going to be hard. The other alternative you have is to build a lot of sentries and stalkers out here and a few Void Rays, and then just take the gold. And those games get real weird real fast. And usually with that you'd follow up with Blink and stop making Void Rays.
And now Dragon Knight has actually delayed this push long enough to where the turret is starting. But like you said, this could definitely be a problem for him. The turret's just going to wear down on
this
that
isn't
Void Ray.
this all-in is not going to work because he can't actually pick off that Widowmine. Not without.
Right at this point.
Yeah, the Oracle's going to have to be in a position where it can be sniped off by Marines. So yeah, he's going to have to transition out of this somehow. And you see MyDarling, that's really smart making an engineering bay block, so that's going to delay the Nexus and let her know when he's trying to expand. One thing I would like to see her do is try to sneak out 1 Widowmine and a Medevac and drop that in the mineral line, because that can really disrupt the Protoss, and with this next Widowmine that she's making, you really only need 1 for this defense, because as long as it kills anything, then the 2 bunkers plus the missile turret plus all the other Marines and the Medevacs are going to be able to kill everything else.
A little risky poke right here by Starlight.
Yeah.
Taking a
I
lot
don't
of
really
shit
like his
damage.
follow-up with this. He's sort of going into standard play, but at a very large disadvantage. Okay, so he is going to go for the gold, but that is scouted, which is really important. This game is going to get very interesting.
And very smart by MyDarling. She puts the NG Bay at the natural, so she sees that failed attempt, and then immediately the SMB goes to the gold,
Yeah.
where she sees the...
And, is he gonna go for the double gold, Travis?
Oh,
Travis.
he's doing it. That just happened. It's happening.
What he's going to need to do here is probably invest in a lot of sentries in order to try to keep MyDarling in her base. But it seems like he's just going to abandon the position, which I feel is really bad with taking the gold, especially with taking both golds.
There's no reason why he couldn't warp in a sentry or something and just hold that ramp.
And the biggest reason why is because this gold, like, if you look at it, it's just so exposed, like, both in terms of as a base itself, and it's so far from his main. So, now that MyDarling's out of her base, she can abuse this position to no end.
Stim is about to finish along with +1 attack.
Yeah. Players like San open up with a build similar to this quite often, and then what they do is they just, like, put units all around MyDarling's bases to make sure that she can't actually get any medevacs out, and then gets Blink out, and then he just makes sure to keep the Terran locked into one base long enough for the gold to actually kick in. Although, these Oracles are going to be able to do some decent damage, but they gotta get out of there before the Viking kills them.
Actually, I don't think they killed anything right there.
They killed like one Marine and one SCV, I think.
So, yeah, Starlight's doing his best to try to delay this push as long as possible.
Yeah, but it's what he can do here is actually abandon the gold, and then hopefully MyDarling will like play passive because she'll think she's ahead and just like sit back and turtle. Meanwhile, it's got the other gold, but that doesn't appear to be the case. However, he is taking a very good fight here. This is not a good fight at all for MyDarling. That last Widow Mine. That looked like such a good fight for him, but then at the last second it all turned around with a combination of bad engagement angles.
Was she not? What were the Oracles targeting there? It doesn't seem like they were targeting Marines.
Yeah, I think they were shooting at a Marauder. But what he should have done there is thrown down like 2 more force fields to just keep the bio all locked back so that it would just trickle in. And if you could have gotten that last shot off at the Widow Mine and then losing like 3 sentries that had a lot of energy, really put him way behind. And these probes might actually reveal the other gold base here if MyDarling's paying attention.
Yeah, so she sees them rallied somewhere.
Yeah, Dragonite's really got to... Yeah, he's pulling him back now, but this should cue MyDarling to possibly check the other bases. And yeah, MyDarling's double the supply. Even more probes trickling out. He should know that something's up. She should know that something's up.
There's one Colossus out, but...
Yeah, there's one Colossus, but it's 1 Colossus, 3 Stalkers, 1 Zealot. He's got no sentries, no Mothership Core.
Yeah, she's even got the Void Ray, or the Viking, rather.
Yeah.
This is,
not gonna work. A very cool attempt by Dragonite, but I think the biggest mistake this game was sending in that Stalker a little bit early without like sending a probe up first, because the Stalker took all his shield damage without doing a single hit point of damage, which if that hadn't happened, he could have sent in the Stalker and the Oracle at the same time and just killed the Marines with good micro, and that would have been a completely different game. Because once you keep that Marine count from snowballing early on, everything changes.
100% right.
Alright, so who's up next?
That's a good question. I think Conviction is actually going to take over.
Take over co-casting or take over managing?
Take over managing.
Alright.
You stay down here, I'm going to hop up and...
Still leave me, Travis.
I'll be back. You have Soul Steel. I'll touch you.
User left your channel.
Oh, you have me.
You're no substitute for Travis.
Fuck you. I'm just kidding.
So, who's going to be next? According to the list, which we never actually follow, it's going to be Cross, but I don't know if he's on right now. No, he's offline, so probably not. I think he did say something about getting home later tonight or something. So we're gonna see who ends up going next.
You always throw Bio Ice in there.
Yeah.
B team, right?
Well, MyDarling is the only one so far to take a game off of Bio Ice and the A-Team King of the Hill thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'd love observing that match, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't even know. No, he's not even online anyway. So
He's probably on EU.
Yep.
I have almost 2 weeks of Christmas break this year. It's awesome.
Very nice. I have 2 days.
Damn. That
Well, it's-
sucks.
Well, it's just work, so.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's even
User joined your
I
channel.
don't know, because like with school, you go to school during the day and then you usually do homework in the evenings and stuff. Whereas I know with work, it's like you go there and then you're just done until the next day, unless you're crazy overcommitted and you work when you're not at work. But even still, it's like the difference between just working a short shift and not working at all is pretty huge. Like just the ability to not have to think about it all and just be able to sit back and relax.
Alright, Raze, it looks like there's a good chance that you'll be going up next.
Oh no, Travis! Don't
Throw
do that.
me in, coach. Throw me in, coach.
Yeah,
Next
if-
time, so still.
If
I'm
I
not even-
go up, do you want me to cast from my point of view? I mean,
Yeah, you
how
can
about-
cast your point, and
Alright.
it'll be your map pick as well. You can just let me know right now.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Secret Spring.
No. Why'd you already use Overgrowth, Travis? That's like my map in TBT.
And she picked it.
Why?
I heard Deadwing's a pretty good TBT map. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad pick. I mean, it's gonna be really annoying early on because I'm gonna have a hard time scouting what she's going for. Because, I mean, with mech you can do all sorts of openings, like Hellion drops, like something like a Hellion drop or like a Raven or a Banshee all require completely different responses. But once you get past that phase, it's pretty easy map for bio, I think. It's hard to actually end the game, but you can, because of its size, you can do stuff that you can't do on other maps, like do big transitions, like fast transitions into air and then back into mass bio and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was this really cool game MMA played versus Yoda on this map where like he didn't start 3-3, he just got a whole bunch of starports and he got like a few battle cruisers and like a whole bunch of Viking Raven, and then he switched back into 15 barracks and he just kept trading with his air, and then after a while Yoda had like no tanks and he just cleaned him up with the bio.
Raze, what map did you want?
You're killing me, Travis.
Come on.
Let's do
Overgrowth again.
yeah, let's do over.
No.
I'm stuck between Catalina and Merry-Go-Round. Let's do Catalina.
Alright.
Maybe she'll think I'm gonna like 2x Reaper or something. Actually, if you give me 1 sec, I'm going to turn off push to talk so that way I can cast without having to press the button while I'm
Sure,
playing.
sure.
Can you guys hear me? Travis? Travis? Can you guys hear me at all? No? Travis?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, Raze.
Can you hear me, Travis?
Yep.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, good luck, man.
Thanks.
I feel left out because you didn't say, "Can you guys hear me?" You just said it specifically to Travis.
Well, I said it a few times beforehand while I was working the settings and you guys couldn't.
Oh.
I'm
I still
out.
feel baited, unwanted.
User left your channel.
Okay, so I already know she's going to be going mech because that's what she does in all 3 matchups. So that means I have a better choice of builds right away. Like there's no chance that I'll just pick like a marine tank versus marine tank build and then that not end up working out. And then also I'm pretty sure she opens gas versus banshee almost every game, which the build that I'm currently using is pretty good against that. So this is just the thing where you rally your first SCV to build a depot by the gas, and then build a gas with that. It delays your gas slightly, slightly compared to like how fast you can actually get it, but you could actually get a gas on 11 supply before you queue up the 12th SCV, but they just give you so much gas early on you wouldn't be able to use it. It's just designed so that you have exactly 100 when your factory finishes. I think a bomber uses it a lot, maybe Cure. Reapers are pretty powerful on this map, but I don't think she'll go 2x Reaper, and even so you can defend it with gas first. I actually prefer playing against 888 into 2x versus just 2x Reaper, because I feel like it's a lot harder to not take the right amount of damage versus 2x, because with 2x Reaper all they have to do is kill like 3 SCVs and then they're even, they kill any more in their head. Whereas with the 888 into 2x, all you have to do is not die. I should have scouted a bit. I'll just send this SCV to one base, and then if she's not there, I'll just bring it back home. So I'm gonna go for double marine instead of marine into Reaper, because the risk of 2x Reaper on this map is pretty common. Pretty high. Getting a second gas, and I'm gonna throw it in a starport, and yeah, I'm gonna throw it in a starport as soon as this factory finishes. Okay, that's looks like a 15 gas build. Ooh, shouldn't have lost that. She should know it's gas first from seeing that. So I tech lab, but the thing is, she'll probably have to, she's either gonna have to scan or build blind turrets. So if I'm just going straight for the Raven, it's gonna negate some of the economic disadvantage I'll be at, because she's having to invest money into defenses for something doing. And just gonna put my marines in the low ground to try to catch any Hellions that come up. With this many marines, I can actually fight 2 Hellions because they're gonna take a lot of damage before they get on top, because they're all gonna be spread out. So yeah, those on hold position. Okay. So just gonna start at my natural, and another thing is I'm building my expansion on the low ground, but she built hers on the high ground. So it's gonna give me like, I think it's an extra SCV. Okay, so she did scan there. She's gonna know she doesn't have to build turrets. And then I'm gonna start a Viking, so I'm going... This is a very safe build that also opens up a lot of possibilities for aggression, and yeah, she's not going cloak. So even though she got her expansion a lot earlier than me, by the time it's landed, mine's gonna be half done, so it's gonna negate a lot of that. And she's going for a lot of Hellions. So what I'm gonna try to do is, I think I'll go with 3 instead of 2 because she's probably gonna go for a third CC. I feel like. Okay. Got real worried I didn't have a depot on the way. So I'm gonna wait for 3 Vikings and 3 tanks and a whole bunch of Marines in the Raven, and then just poke across the map. And it's not all in by any means, but you want to do damage with it. Most importantly, what it's gonna do, probably, hopefully, is thin out the Hellion count, which is going to make it harder for her to deal with. It's going to give her less map presence, going to make it harder to deal with drops, multiple attacks. Because once Mac gets like that sort of critical mass of Hellions, it can become really hard to deal with. Start up another depot. Once this 3rd tank finishes, I'm going to switch off on the tech lab and start stim and a few more barracks, and then I'm going to go for a 2 base, 4 barracks, engineering bay, marine tank, Viking push, unless she's getting medevacs, in which case I can get medevacs. I'm try to be a bit sneaky here. One danger to this is that she does run in with Hellions while I'm away, but we'll see. And I'm going to save a scan to see her natural when I get there. Okay, so we are fighting now. Just gonna put on a lot of pressure here. Looks like a 2-bit all-in.
Additional supply depots. Not enough.
Ready to plunder.
What was that?
Research complete. Your forces are under attack. Not enough energy.
So it appears that she might be going for a 2-base all-in with the amount of factories she has. I'll really want to confirm that because that's going to change how I play. Not drastically, but it will have an impact.
Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Upgrade complete. Not enough energy.
Saw some Hellions swing this way. Probably damage there, but Oh, that's actually really bad if it's somewhere. Okay, so it is moving back. Which means I can once again siege up the main.
Not enough minerals. Add-on complete. Mineral field depleted. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Understood.
Mineral field depleted.
Taken out.
Mineral field depleted.
Ready for dust off.
So I'm just gonna try to maneuver around her army here.
Insufficient rescue gas. Insufficient rescue gas. Additional supply. Mineral field depleted. Additional add-on complete. Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
Waiting on you.
Not enough energy.
Ready for dust off.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field upgrade complete. Mineral field depleted. Not enough energy. Mineral field depleted.
In 5 by 5.
Mineral field depleted.
Yeah, so I'm just taking my fourth here. Sorry about the lack of commentary. I've been
Ready for dust off.
focusing on concentrating. And that's that. GG. So I guess I'll be going back to casting other people now. Yeah. At the end of the game there I wasn't talking much.
Damn girl.
GG.
You got wrecked.
Pretty sure TPT is my best right now, especially versus mech.
Mm-hmm.
Like once they
Didn't, like,
try to
have
get 3
turrets.
bases, it's just so easy to pull them out of position.
She didn't make the turrets for a long time that she needed to defend against doom drops and stuff.
Yeah, she needed to play she needed to recognize what I was doing and play super passive versus it and like delay her third for a while. But not many people do what I do. Like I copied that build, not the build, but the style off of Paul when you know the opponent's going mech. Because most of them will try to take a third base off of mostly Hellions with like maybe 1 or 2 tanks. When you're trying to push with like 4 tanks and a whole bunch of bio and then more Vikings than them. Especially if they're trying to go for medevacs with it, which is very common. So just waiting on the next match.
User joined your channel.
Very nice service.
Thank you, Travis.
Played that not as perfect as you can.
Yeah. Well, no, I messed up with a bunch of my macro, and like I made a few too many SCVs early on. My fourth was late. I was floating a bit for a while, but my army movement I think was about
The
what it
drops,
needed to
man. Yeah, right. The positioning of the army at the third, and then the drops coming in was really nice.
Yeah, once, because I was explaining to this stream and Soulsteel, if he was listening, that it's a newer style versus mech that Paul was doing against Tasia when Tasia tried to mech versus him, where most mech players in the modern times are trying to take the third off of just Heli and Hellbat with some medevacs and maybe like 1 or 2 tanks. And while they're doing that, you push with like 3 or 4 tanks and a whole bunch of bio, and you cut medevacs for a while to get more Vikings than they'll have, so that way you can get air control and they can't drop on top of your army. So, yeah. Okay, so it is going to be House Peddler, who is a Terran player.
DVT Central today. Holy-
Yeah, nothing but TVTs.
Are we
well then.
Are we taking bets on what the score is going to be?
Ooh.
Well, I would have been wrong if I said 5-0 or 3-0
Yeah.
versus for
Advisor.
B team, but
I think MyDarling will end up winning, but it's gonna be just by one map.
Really?
Well, is
I
that
feel
out
like
of
she's going to
5
be
games,
House
3-2?
Peddler. I don't think House Peddler's play versus mech is as good as his play versus Marine Tank.
I agree.
Who else is playing?
I think Jamelian might be going up next. So
Okay, I
Protoss.
feel like Jamelian can beat her. And I feel like Cross can beat her if he knows what she's going to do.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I'll take it off. So, spawning in the top left on King Sejong. Coming out for the B team as the Red Terran, we have House Peddler. And Raze would be so kind as to.
and at the bottom
Okay.
right, yeah,
Correct.
Blue Terran, MyDarling.
Yeah, MyDarling. There we go.
Playing for the A team. And not stacking her SCVs. Shame, shame, shame.
Well,
Actually, none of
what?
these guys are.
Double shame.
So shame.
For people just joining, this is a little fun event that we're doing. It's every week we have a player
House
on the A
Peddler's
team
not too
play.
confident.
Yeah, he's not confident, but yeah, we have one player on the A team do essentially a one-man clan war against the B team. This is the first time we've done this, but we hope to continue it every week.
Maybe cash prize next time.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
just
think we should do that, Travis. Maybe do that for this one too.
Maybe, just the winners? Is that what you want?
Yeah, yeah,
Not even the
$1.
winning team, just the winning player, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
$1 per person.
10
Yeah.
Dogecoins to whoever wins the game. You can manage that,
Yeah,
right, Travis?
exactly.
100 tokens.
That's 10
Yeah, just-
Dogecoins is what, like a millionth of a cent?
Ambiguous tokens. 100 tokens.
At the end of the month, you can use it to cash out.
At the end of the month, you
Even
can
more
exchange-
tokens.
You can exchange 1,000 tokens for 1 super token. And 1 super token is equal to 1 cent.
There you go.
And one of those is equal to a Travis buying you 1 pizza, right? Right?
1 cent
Oh,
towards
yeah.
a pizza.
1 cent towards a pizza. That'll take a while. Anyways, alright, so in this game, Raze, what do we see happening here?
Alright, so gas first on both sides, pretty standard in TVT. It's gonna be, the next biggest thing is to see whether anyone makes a Reaper or a second gas. And both players are gonna be going double Marine, although they both slightly delayed theirs. And MyDarling is still not getting anything else out of her barracks. It's very odd. Usually you'd be getting a Reactor, a Marine, or a Reaper after making your first Marine.
Right.
So that's kind of weird. I mean, it's a bit greedy, but she did scout. Like, if it had been something like a 2-Rex Reaper or a Proxy Reaper or something like that, or even like Proxy Marauder, 11-11, it would have just killed her because she only has like 1 Marine out.
Right.
Did she do this
Essentially,
to me
this
last
is-
game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I thought with my SUV I saw like 3 Marines.
Right.
So
this
very
is based
fast.
off her scouting, right?
Very fast tech lab on the factory base. Of course, it's not going to be for tanks because that wouldn't make sense if she was cutting marine production. Because if you want to go for like a super fast tank push, you want as many units as possible.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be
Banshee?
Banshee or Raven. I'm saying Banshee.
Yeah, she tends to like her Raven, so we'll see.
She's been going Banshee on ladder.
Oh,
Oh, the
that's true.
Travis.
Okay. There we go. Along with Cloak, as expected with the
Yeah.
double
House
gas
Peddler
there.
is only on 1 gas, so he is going to be doing the 3 Hellion, 6 Marine drop, although he isn't getting a reactor, so it's not going to be that thing where Paul does, where he just gets up to, like, he just keeps making 2 Marines, 1 Hellion, 1 medevac, and he just goes up to, like, 3 medevacs and just keeps dropping you.
Uh-huh.
It's probably just going to be, I'm guessing, a reactor, tech lab, expand, something like that, with a tech lab on the factory. Tech lab on the factory. Anything.
Depending on the timing of this Banshee, could actually do a decent bit of damage.
Yeah, if this is supposed to hit when the Banshee is like across the map, and then you just drop into their base, they don't have anything, and you try to kill them. And MyDarling hasn't recognized this, which is like, I favor using a scan over doing an SCV scout when I see someone going gas first, because with the SCV scout you don't see the timing of the second gas, and the response required to something like this is so different from the response to like a Raven or something. And this Widowmine shot will be hitting the medevac? No.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I'd rather it hit the medevac there? No, actually not, because I was going to say because if the Marines are out of position you can unload everything. But yeah, that just got shut down.
The Banshee's actually recalled, which I guess is it's not.
I glanced back
Redirected
to
again.
the command center for a second, expecting to see it appear there, but this isn't Grodos. Like when you said recalled, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, recall.
Yeah, so he's trading pretty well here against all these Marines, but he's not going to have detection. He is saving energy, which is good, but it's going to be hard to kill this Banshee with 1 scan, although it looks like he might get it with the way things are working out. No, just barely
There we
not.
go, just barely.
That was
Oh, this
weird.
is
Like
actually gonna be
it
really
went into the out of the scan range with the 1 shot, so the 1 shot didn't do anything. And then
Right,
it
I
looked
think
like
it
the
was just
Viking
negate
fired
that.
again when it was still out of scan range, and it just didn't do anything again.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Just counts.
No, but
Same-
like
same
I saw when it went out of range, the shot didn't do anything. But it
Yeah,
looked
I
like
saw
while
that.
it was out of range again, the Viking fired again. Like it started firing when the Banshee was out of
Oh.
range.
Well, it's map hacks, who knows?
Oh yeah,
Never.
totally. So it is going to be 4 factory on 2 base. This is what she did to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very, very heavy pressure. Like, you delay your third for a long time with this. Like, what Innovation and Flash especially do a lot is they'll start off with a Viking from the starport, then they'll make a Raven, and then they'll make a second factory after making 3 Hellions and getting the reactor. And then they'll swap the starport onto another reactor built by the barracks, and then swap the second factory onto a starport. Onto a tech lab, and then they go for 2 factories, they get tanks, blue flame, Hellions, and then they take a third CC off of 2 factories. But this is 4 factories, so I mean, it could, if she doesn't get a lot of add-ons, it could very easily be into a third base with just very safe play, or it could easily be a 2 base all-in, which with 3 tech labs, it's probably going to be the all-in. Though I'm not sure why she got him quite so early, because she doesn't have the gas, really, that she wants to be able to use all this at once, especially with the armory. Like, she's not going to be able to make any units. She's just going to have a lot of production. Like, if she
not
if you want
any gases here.
Even what Innovation does when he is going 2 base all in is he does the same 2 factory thing, and then he gets a 3rd factory, and then he gets a 4th factory sometimes. But she got 3 right in a row, which means she's just not going to have the money to produce out of them. Which, I mean, for macro play, it doesn't matter all that much, but if you're going to be all-inning, then the build order is much more important, because you want to maximize your unit production in order to kill your opponent.
Indeed.
So,
So do you think she will be doing a 2 base push, or no?
I want to say
not, right?
she is gonna play reactively. Like, depending on if she takes a good fight versus House Peddler, I think she'll make a lot more units and go all in. But if he's just playing safe, I think she's just gonna cut unit production and take a 3rd.
Okay. So House does drop a scan there, and the main of MyDarling knows.
Yeah. You should really repair that medevac. That's gonna help a lot, especially versus mech, because you want him to survive as long as possible. I think it's Cure that really focuses on, like, doesn't get any air units at all versus mech when he plays mech. He just gets a tank marauder, basically, with a few Thors.
Really?
Yeah, and Pult does something similar.
Just trying to hard counter, basically.
Yeah, but the one problem is, first of all, like, your buy is going to take a little bit more damage, but you're going to have a lot more units because you're not investing into that starport production. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to drop, which is a big thing. So instead, you'll see Paul rely on, like, instead of trying to drop in the main, he'll, like, kill the rocks and attack from the rocks at the same time he attacks the 3rd and stuff like that. So it's more like versus Protoss with big armies. I mean, it's, yeah, playing versus mech, it's the same stylistic thing where you can choose to go more medevac heavy and do a lot of drops.
Like just,
What was that?
I see.
Yeah, or you can just
I was just gonna say, so essentially it's basing more off trades, right?
Yeah. So you can
trading minerals for gas, I guess.
It works sort of the same way. It's whether you want to do a lot of small attacks in multiple places, or do you want to do a few big attacks with a lot more units, because you are to. So it's basically positional play versus they're both positional play, but one's more positional and one's more like army size. Like, it's the same thing Paul does versus Protoss, where he usually cuts after 4 medevacs and doesn't make Vikings for a while, just so he can get his 6th, 7th, and 8th barracks out really fast. And that way he can do, like, 2 huge attacks at the same time that the Protoss is going to really struggle to deal with, instead of, like, someone like Maru, who just gets a lot of medevacs, and then tries to do, like, 6 attacks at once and pull the Protoss apart with superior micro. And because of getting all these factories, MyDarling is quite significantly ahead on supply. House Peddler looks like it's going to be going for a push similar to what I did. He is going 5 barracks, so probably going to see him stick on 2 base for a really long time. This is a nice sensor tower out of MyDarling, although I would have preferred to see her make it on the other side by the other refinery, so that way with the barracks and the sensor tower, you can pretty much cover the entire radius and be safe against drops. So he's going to be pushing, but she's going to be able to see this, and that's especially important with mech, to be able to know where your siege tanks need to be. Because the difference between fighting 3 sieged tanks and 3 unsieged tanks is absolutely massive.
Oh, it looks like House Peddler's going to try to take a different angle here. behind the natural. Oh,
He's
actually
going for a
in
doom drop there, and this is what I was talking about. The sensor tower can't quite see it, so she's not going to be in position.
Right. One turret may finish. There's
Yeah,
actually
that's
two
not going to be
turrets
enough
in place.
though. He's just going to be able to drop on this production. It might not end the game, but should do a lot of damage depending on how.
Right.
If he can snipe these, he's not sniping the 2 tanks. He gets one. Okay, there's the second one. This is working out pretty well for him, but ooh,
PDD
nice
was
PDD.
dropped. Essentially, it's just a trade now between the.
Yeah, but
three
the one.
Marauders just go down.
The important thing is, MyDarling has a third, and she has a similar amount of production capabilities, which means that I think that favors her. Like, ooh, he could have sniped that tank with the buy, but
Right,
instead he just walked it in.
reinforcements are being misrallied here. Third is going to be forced to lift off, which is good.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. I didn't even see that. He's killing a gas geyser, which is pretty good. You should close that down a little bit more. Yeah. If he had had a few more units with that drop, I think his macro could have been a little bit better. If he had had a few more units with that, he could have forced her to land her Vikings and then taken trades there, which is where stuff really starts to snowball. Because that way you can be a lot more free with your drops. You can, like, do things where you just stim and pick off a tank and then boost away because they won't have enough Vikings to just kill all your medevacs instantly.
Well, Housefeather seems to be feeling the pressure here. No third started yet. That engage was, I mean, possibly even for him, but you're gonna need to do better than that, right, against the style.
Yeah, one thing that he could actually do, because there's so few Hellbats, is he could actually just SCV pull, and it might work. That's his best bet, but I really don't like making the 2 Vikings here, because Vikings are such a snowball thing. Like, when you get way ahead on Vikings, you just murder your opponent, but it's so hard to get back from that deficit that, like, you really have to... It's like Phoenix versus Phoenix. You have to either completely cut it or massively, like, overproduce your opponent.
You just can't contest it once it reaches a certain point.
Yeah. Well, you can. That'd be like if you saw him throwing down like 3 more starports or something.
Oh, right.
But it looks like he might be going for a little bit of a poke from 2 sides here, but it's going to be really hard to find an angle.
Yeah, these tanks are well
MyDarling's
spread.
got a pretty scary death ball. The tanks are in good positions, so is the sensor tower. Although she might want to make another one here, just to be able to see that army. And let's look at, yeah, she's got 5 mobile tanks that will crush this army if they get sieged. Especially with the PDD is just a really nice touch because she's kept that Raven alive. It means the Marauders just aren't going to do damage, and that's it. GG.
Wow. He's trying to, maintain some pressure there on the third while taking his own, but I don't think he expected to actually fight there.
Yeah, I think he wanted to catch her more out of position. The barracks caught the edge of that drop, I believe, which gave her just the time she needed to pull back. Travis, what are you going to do if I'm the only one who takes a game off of her?
Well, I'll congratulate you because that's pretty good.
Get 1 token.
Yeah, you get 1 token.
Not a super token?
No. Let's be realistic here.
Travis, you're killing me. So is it going to be Jamelian next?
Yeah, Jamelian is going up.
Did you tell her that she mechs?
Oh, did I tell Jam?
Yeah, did you tell her that she mechs?
What do you mean?
She makes it happen.
That she mechs. She doesn't go by him.
I'll let him figure it out. I think he's smart enough, yeah.
Travis, it won't even... That's just how you avoid a really stupid game. Because, like, if you... Think of it this way. He's probably played 1%... Out of all the games she's played with mech, he's played like 1% of the games against mech. So he's not going to have nearly as much experience as she will in that anyway, which is, like, one thing about how you see sort of styles that are mostly underused become... They seem really good when someone does them. It's not because the style is superior, it's because they have so much more experience than anybody else with them. And so, even though it's like sort of like mech versus Protoss, like someone like Goody, or if you're looking like a little bit down lower, someone like MyDarling, who does it literally every game, is gonna have more game knowledge in regards to mech than someone like Jamelian will, because he's not gonna play against it very often.
Although I'm gonna tell Jamelian possibly mech. Possibly mech.
Although I played against Jamilian. Well, we were doing a few practice games, and I went mech one game and beat him. But I wasn't like just going straight mech. That was like a Widowmine Hellion run by Marine drop thing. Wait, so are we playing all of these games out, or are we just going to like first to 3 or whatever?
We're gonna play them all out, so it'll be 5 games. So there'll be one more game after this.
Was this her map pick or his map pick?
His map pick actually.
Okay, interesting.
Blink possibly.
Possibly. There's multiple styles of mech, and there's multiple styles you can use to play against mech. Like, you can go for something that, like, Taiga, who's also Drunken Boy,
right.
He plays a lot of mech versus Protoss, and he actually beat JYP, like, a few months ago in some qualifier, and going mech every game. And what he's been doing is going sort of, like, most of the time with mech, you'll open with an aggressive poke early on, either with something gas first, or just something, like, starport or factory-oriented. Or, like, there are a few players who just go, like, mass CC early on, but that is very risky, and it doesn't let you apply, like, any pressure, so it's pretty gimmicky. But what he's been doing is he's been going heavy on the 2-base aggression, like, been going 3 or 4 factories before taking the 3rd, and just doing, like, this massive push before the Protoss can really get the proper counter. I believe MyDarling plays more of a different style, where she focuses more on getting to the late game, and getting a whole bunch of, like, Vikings, Ravens... I think she gets Ghosts, but I don't remember. And, like, Siege Tanks and Thors. And trying to get a Death Ball that'll beat the Protoss's Death Ball. I think at that stage, like, when you have Viking, Raven, DC, Thor, Ghost, Tank, whatever, versus, like, Tempest, Carrier, High Templar with a few Colossus and some Charge Lots and Archons, I think it is pretty even in terms of what the armies can do, but again, that's a very interesting dynamic between the two armies, and MyDarling's going to have a whole lot more experience in that regard than Jamilian will.
Right.
So it's sort of like bringing it to a stage at which the armies are even, but she's going to have more experience in how to control it and when to take fights, stuff like that.
Even in that late game composition, just a few extra units of one type, say too many Immortals or too many Archons, can definitely cut into the perfect composition.
And Jamilian is going to be going with the gateway into 1 gas, so it's probably going to be... You can still get a 2nd gas after Cybercore, but it's probably just going to be a 1-gate expand. And MyDarling did go 12 racks, 13 gas? Maybe 13 gas, I believe. And starting the 2nd depot, so... This is looking like what she did versus... looks like the opening she did versus Dragonite. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the exact same one and this is just the build she does. Jamilian's almost certainly going to cancel this.
Still trying to scout around here.
Why is MyDarling scouting this base? Does she know she can't spawn here? Is she trying to proxy something? Okay, looks like she's just not familiar with the map. Probably has a veto. Which could work out in Jamilian's favor if she's not used to this map, because first of all, it's super wide open in the main. There's a lot of places you can do blank. There's a whole lot of places you can do Warp Prism drop, and the big one that everyone forgets about that I abuse all the time in TVT is this little choke right where she's building her natural command center. You just fly around the back and it's out of missile turret range, and you can do like a massive Doom drop or a Warp Prism right there, and they almost never have turrets.
Nice. They're saying they take the long route, go behind the natural.
Yeah, and then especially in TVT, if they're going like Marine Tank or something, what you do is you Doom drop right there and you siege up, and they can't get down the ramp, can't get up the ramp.
Oh, right. Beautiful.
I just have the map beat out anyway because it's a pain to play, but I do stuff like that. Yeah, Soul Steel mentioning she forgot no horizontal spawn. So yeah, Jamilian went for that 1-gate expand, getting a 2nd gas, and there's going to be that Twilight Council. I'm not sure if it's going to be a Blink all-in, more likely it's going to be the build that he does to me every single game, where he starts Blink, gets 2 more gateways, and then gets a Robo, and gets a Warp Prism. I haven't actually seen how that pans out versus mech. I feel like it can end up working out really well, especially if she goes more Hellion-focused. Like, a bunch of the time when you are going mech versus Protoss, you tend to go more Marine Tank early on. and Mass Hellion doesn't fare so well against Blink Stalkers. Although there is that one build that who is it? Daishi used to do, where he'd go like CC first 3 CC, and then just get like 6 factories and go mass Hellion and just kill Stalker Colossus. Did you see those games?
I haven't seen that game, but as soon as you said 3 CCs, you dropped that 3rd CC.
Yeah. Like he played a game versus Grubby, and Grubby went for like he saw what it was, walled off, took no probe damage, went for like a 2 base, 3 Colossus, 20 Stalker, like 3 Sentry all in, and his army just got surrounded and killed by mass Hellion.
Oh wow.
Like pure Hellion.
Literally pure Hellion.
Yeah. Because it gets to a certain point where if you play greedy enough early on, you can just outproduce your opponent, and you can just get like 60 Hellions and just get a perfect arc on their army. And
you just make the trades.
Yeah, and like bigger numbers like that, the splash damage does matter a lot, even against like Stalkers, because each Hellion shot will be thing like 4 Stalkers. So yeah, he's getting the Warp Prism. The Observer. Let's see if he gets the Warp Prism after this. No, it's going to be a second Observer. Looks like he's just playing passive. I don't believe he set up any proxy pylons. Yeah, he's going out to do that now.
Hellions were very meticulously scouting, but they were a little.
Oh, he hasn't even seen
early,
where she spawned yet. No, I think he knows where she spawned. Yeah, but he hasn't actually scouted her base.
Right.
So yeah, he's just playing defensive Blink. Looks like follow-up's going to be important. I'm not sure whether I prefer opening Colossus or Templar versus a passive mech player. I think getting like 2 Colossus out can end up like helping you a lot, especially if you focus then on more ground production, where it can force them to overcommit into Vikings, and then you can thin out the Hellbat numbers, and then you just have like a ground army of like Stalker, Immortal, charge a lot. Yeah, Blink reveals Blink but snipes the Hellion. I don't think that's too big of a deal.
Well, she does see the lot of Stalkers coming towards her.
Yeah. Like, and she knows they have Blink, but she actually doesn't really have much. Like, she does. Like, that's what I was. She doesn't have a tank yet. She just has Widow Mines. He needs to Blink back from these. Yeah. He can kill a lot here with good Blink micro, and if he brings
the Observer did get sniped.
Yeah, he's gonna wanna. If he actually threw down a High Templar pit, whatever you call it, and made 1 High Templar and feed back that Raven, that'd be so sick.
That'd be awesome.
I remember in like Wings of Liberty beta, everybody was like, wait a minute, like if you get mass Viking Banshee versus Protoss and you just scan and snipe the Observer, they don't have anything to kill the Banshees. And then people figured out like Storm was a thing. Nice Blink dodge.
Yeah.
Not taking any damage. He's still in 1 robotics facility and he's getting a Stargate behind this, so I'm guessing Fast Tempest.
Yeah, that can definitely just rip apart mech.
And on the other hand, you can also just get killed by it. It depends if he's gonna try to hit a timing with like 3 Tempest, that can be absolutely brutal because MyDarling probably just won't have the anti-air to deal with it. But we'll see where he goes from here. She's not moving out to take her 3rd yet, but she still has the 3rd Mule. Pretty even on economy. Jamilion's got a few more probes, but she's got the triple Mule again, so I think she's slightly ahead on income. Yeah, just a little bit. And he's securing his 3rd. Yeah, it is going to be that Fast Tempest. It depends how many. I wouldn't mind seeing this actually like thrown down in like the corner of the base over here to make it a lot harder to scout. It's going to be 3 Stargates with this, so he's going to be going low on Immortals and getting like out a whole bunch of Tempest, and it looks like he might try to macro with this, but it's probably just going to be a really try to do a cheeky all-in with like a bunch sizable ground army and just poke away at her army with the Tempest and force MyDarling into a really, really bad engagement. And it looks like she's killing the rocks, but she's taking the more open 3rd. Not sure how I feel about that. I think especially versus Protoss, it's safer to take the other one, because this way like Blink Stalkers with an Observer can like pick off that turret, pick off a few SCVs. But it doesn't matter a whole bunch. It's going to make it a little bit easier for her to secure her 4th there. And so far she has 1 Viking and 1 Raven, and she's going Banshee, so if she doesn't scout this in time, this can be really bad.
Right, this might just be...
Yeah, she's seen nothing except a gateway in his base.
Research complete.
And yeah, he's just chroning out Tempest. He should try to hit a timing with this. But it is going to be a little risky because I don't think he's been hallucination scouting and seeing what she's doing.
Yeah, one of them just flew in, but they didn't get very far.
Yeah, I mean, if he can see her army and see that there's no Vikings there, he'll know he's good. And yeah, she's going into Raven late game. He should be able to hit before this Star Pearl production really kicks in, though, and just hit with maybe 7 Tempests and try to just roll over everything.
Right. The lack of scouting does leave him unsure though, of how many Vikings there are.
Yeah. Stalker misses the blink there.
So hopefully she'll... No, she's not going to even poke in there.
Yeah, the Banshees looks like they're going to take a long route around. He does have cannons up. He should be... I'm curious to see what his transition from this is going to be, whether it's going to be going into more Immortals or going into Faster Storm.
So 3 Banshee hit squad coming in. They're going to see these Tempests for sure.
Are they, though? They're going to see the Stargates, but... Okay, yeah, now she knows. Now she's got to, panic mode.
Did she see it?
Yeah, she just scanned the entire army.
Oh, okay. So let's see. 2 Ravens coming out. More Widow Mines coming out.
Ravens are going to be good, but, I mean, PDD just buys time. She's going to need something to actually kill them. So I don't like this continued production of Ravens. I feel like she should cut with the 2 she has, and she'll have 3 PDDs when this hits, and then just try to spam out Vikings from there. He's gonna be, ooh, I don't like this. He's trying to macro out of this and just take a 4th. But I feel like if he was gonna do that, he could take it a lot earlier. You can usually play super greedy versus mech, because, especially if you recognize that it's like this, where they're just turtling back, you can just go up
just his lack of scouting is leaving him very unsure.
Yeah, he could be on 5 bases right now with full tech.
Right, if he just knew, I mean, he wouldn't even need to take that 5th base. He would have just pushed off 3, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
If he had that scouting, but
yeah, again, I feel like he's playing a super middle of the road approach where he's getting a lot of Tempests, and he's also slowly expanding. He's not taking up too quickly or too slowly. And with the way MyDarling's playing, where she's just sitting back passively and playing sort of not really greedy, but yeah, it's exactly what she wants. Where the correct response to what she's doing is to either play super greedy and try to get a better army than her, or rush out some sort of attack and try to hit a timing when she's not prepared for it. He threw away a lot of Zealots there, doesn't have charge. He should push out with this, I think, just because he has the recall ability. He's wasting a lot here. I think he's just going to try to get maxed on Tempest High Templar and try to do that, but there was a game versus, I think it was Protect, where something like that happened, and Protect ended up losing in the late game. Because, again, MyDarling just is going to have a lot more experience in those kind of battles. Interestingly enough, she's going Mass Widowmine with this, which,
Right, I think she's just going to get him under the,
yeah. So the thing about Widowmines versus Protoss is that they're not very good against splash damage. But they're, against, an army like this, they will just wreck this army. But if he has, 2 Colossus or a bunch of High Templar with Storm, he's going to be able to push it away.
But there's just not even that much clutter in terms of ground units. She can just easily walk right under them. Maybe some force fields.
Yeah, force fields would help, but
it's gonna be hard to be microing, dropping force fields and dodging the PD or the Seeker missiles when they come out.
Yeah.
And now the Viking count is getting very high.
Yeah, MyDarling's max. She's got not quite exactly the army she wants. She's eventually going to want to trade out most of these Hellions, and maybe a few of the Widow Mines, and get more Ravens. Probably trade off the Banshees too. But she's got the army she needs to fight this head on, pretty much.
The 4 High Templars are here. They do have Storm.
Yeah, but he's going to have to choose between Storm and Feedback.
Yeah, and that's a very on-the-spot call.
If I don't know how she is with her tank micro, but she should probably be able to just focus down the High Templar before they get in range of anything. Same thing with if he doesn't have an observer with his army, if you kill that after a trade, what you can do is you can spam cloak on all the Vikings, so they only on all the Banshees. Right, until they only have a little bit of cloak left, and then you just go kill all the High Templar, and they can't Feedback or Storm. He's gotta not lose these High Templar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, now he can't take a fight here.
That was a genius play by MyDarling. He dropped the scan, just went for it straight out. And now there's no AoE on the ground.
And now all the Widow Mine. Yeah. Nice spread on the Tempest, but there's just so much stuff here. Even though you could even unburrow the Widow Mines, a few of them are active. Ooh, he might draw the fire onto the Viking Banshee, but no.
But at this point, there's just so many Vikings.
Yeah, this applies to the whole story. This is over.
Right, I'm surprised he didn't even try to back off there. It was his only chance.
Yeah. He's got a few Zealots over at the bottom left, not sure
He
what
did
they're
manage-
doing.
like you said, he
MyDarling's
did
establishing
manage
a 6th base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right side. It was good spread by him. He dodged a lot of the Widowmine shots, I believe.
The Widowmine shots, most of them didn't hit the Tempest, they just hit the main army.
Exactly.
Which, yeah. And I mean, he's got no Archons, he's got no Immortals, he's got no Colossus. Like, you really have to recognize what style of mech your opponent's playing, because with so few tanks, you can get a few Colossus and quite a few Archons in your army, and use that to kill all the Hellenes and Vikings and Widowmines. But yeah, at this point, MyDarling can just rally across the map, push in, and she doesn't even have to win with this, she's in no rush. No cannon at the third, so the Hellions are just killing everything. And it should be a GG shortly after. Even Widowmine blowing up the Stalker.
Right.
Viewing for repairs, or mana, whatever. Oh, she's repairing with him. I don't feel like she's a mana mule kind of
Right,
person.
I don't think so as well.
It's like, Innovation was playing some Terran Foreigner in like ATC or whatever it was quite a few months ago, like last year, and like he wouldn't manner mule, but like after he cleaned up a drop, like as he was cleaning it up, he just dropped all the mules like on the mineral patches right in front of the medevac as it was running away.
Right.
And it's like it's not a manner mule, but it's still like saying get out of here basically. Travis, you should put me in again.
Revive Raze.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I don't think that's possible.
She's got like 5 lives. We can afford to take a few away. Chameleon. I sense a little bit of sarcasm there. Damn. Wonder if she knows that he's like not being serious.
Who knows?
I think the most exciting kind of game is the Swarm Host versus Mech game.
You haven't seen the Swarm Host for Swarm Host games, then, have you?
Oh, I
like
have.
when Stefano and Firecake played like 3 games in a row on stream, and those 3 games took a total of like 7 hours.
I remember the 3 hours on King Sejong.
Yeah.
Good
Alright,
times.
Let's see here.
Travis, I think you should go. See how she stands up to the 2 Rex.
Yeah.
If she tries to build what she
Yeah.
did versus House Peddler, she'd actually die to it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I know, Travis. What you do is you challenge her 1 versus 1. Winner takes over Team Ascension.
Oh, so I
Uh-oh.
can regain my...
And then when you lose, say you meant Battlecraft all along.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see, who do we have?
Oh, we have Raze. He's open and available. I think we should put him in.
Nah, that guy's a scrub. We should throw Conviction in. He's the true hero.
Conviction does a few wonky builds. He might actually do something she's not expecting. Like, he'll do like 2 Rex sim timings on 1 base. Who else is on, though? Unstoppable, but it looks like he's AFK. I haven't seen him play aside from like 1 game in a tournament where he lost to a low Masters player.
I think he played in the Clan War, right?
Yeah, he played in a clan war and lost to the one guy that's in our community chat, the EXXE guy, that
I have
all
no
killed
idea.
us on the day that we were putting out a whole bunch of we were playing like all new members, and we got all killed by like who was then a low masters guy. So that was interesting.
We'll see. Giving up the conviction right now.
Make sure he knows that Raze is quite willing to play again if the situation requires it.
Alright, I'll let him know.
Travis, you should try going after 4-Bolt for recruitment.
I should what?
Try going after 4-Bolt.
Who's that?
Oh, you don't know 4-Bolt? He's
Four?
not.
I used to play him
Horrible.
a bit when he was playing unranked and I was playing. I think I was still playing Zerg then, but I don't remember.
Who is he?
He's
He's kind of like. Go for it.
he was a GM Zerg and he played a lot of random. He streamed, had a fairly decent following, I think.
What's his name again?
Fourbolt.
Fourbolt, like FOURBOLT.
Huh, never heard of him.
Hey, would you look at that? Flamethrower left the team, Travis.
Oh, he left a while ago.
Yeah. Let's see, is Kicker still on the team?
Oh, Flamethrower. You mean the
Yeah,
best
Kicker's still on the
member?
team, Travis. He's just not on anymore.
Not on.
It wouldn't be a shame if we booted him for inactivity. would it?
Well, we'll do another inactivity check in season.
Considering he's both inactive and BM when he isn't inactive.
What happened to Flamethrower?
Ooh.
He got into an argument with Psycho or something on TeamSpeak.
Uh-oh.
He got into a lot of arguments with a lot of people, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure which one exactly led him to leave the team.
Okay.
He's got some
Issues.
intensity issues.
Mm-hmm.
That, and he's got like the whole Glaive. It's like him, Glaive, and Chaotic form sort of like a holy triangle,
Unholy triangle.
and they were all on TeamSpeak at the same time with like. It was me and somebody else who was fairly reasonable, and we were trying to. It was like me and Buck, and we were trying to control the damage.
But the damage was just too great.
Damage was too much damage.
It was over 9,000.
Alright, looks like
all the
conviction is
damage.
going in.
What?
Conviction is going in on Nimbus.
Ooh.
Oh shit, son.
The team manager himself. Never thought the day would come.
How come you didn't make any comments for the B team captain, Travis?
Well, I mean, you're expected to win. You're the B team captain. You know?
I have. I'm like 1-5 versus him now. No, 1-3. I want to say.
Something like
1-2 or 1-3. But I won the most recent one, which is what counts. Well, technically, he did give me a free one on one account.
You did?
Conviction.
So wait, technically speaking, I'm 2-1 versus Camker.
Oh no! Wow.
Yeah, because there was
Motion
one
and
game where
story.
he mysteriously GG'd after being up like 60 supply with his army in my base. No,
Hey,
he's not the
hey.
captain. I'm the
Hey,
captain.
shh, shh.
Hey.
Don't correct me.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I think I know what's best. It's alright. Management and everything changes so often. First it's Pavel, then it's Mission, then it's...
And then
now it's
Pavel was the
Race.
captain, and then... What is Pavel now? Like, is he... He usually just manages and doesn't play that much in Clan Wars.
Technically, he doesn't have any position other than like a B teamer. But,
I was gonna say doggy.
yes, he has like officership. And,
He's just that Russian.
that Russian.
He's gonna switch to CSGO full time, become the Team Ascension CSGO.
Yeah, well, you see, we tried that. Didn't really work out.
Whatever happened to the pro Minecraft team, Travis?
Oh, that's. Wait till you see my 2015 announcement.
You know, Minesweeper is also an option.
RuneScape as well.
Can you imagine streaming Minesweeper on Twitch? Oh man.
It always pains me when RuneScape has more viewers on Twitch than StarCraft does. I'm like, how? Do people actually watch that game?
Well, there are like a few streamers that flash, like that one chick who flashed her Yuhu.
Really?
Her goods on yeah, she got banned, but
Oh, worth it? Not worth it?
I'm pretty sure if you're willing to do that, you can make a lot more money on other sites.
Right.
Like the ones that offer tokens.
Exactly. There we go. Now we're talking.
Who's that chick that streamed StarCraft for a little bit? That's like some popular League of Legends streamer, and she's like she acts super stupid, but she's like a massive troll, and she and Destiny were just like going.
Casey
at it.
Tron.
Yeah, Casey Tron. Did you watch the Casey Tron with Destiny stream?
It was funny.
She's so good at just walking the line between like she's a genius and maybe she is just really stupid.
Yeah, every single time that sees dog bark, she's like, "Is that your kid?" It's like, what?
there was just too much stuff. It's like that can't actually be real.
Don't call my kid a fucking dog.
That's like the logo that just conveniently happened to look exactly like another type of logo found on sites that are frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera angle and how she kept like leaning forward and adjusting her hair with the camera.
Yeah.
Listen to every time they got like a donation, they'd accidentally drop a pen on the ground or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there's someone who did that.
and then there was like some beeping sound in case Tron's like, "Oh, what's that?" And Destiny just on the spot goes, "Yeah, that's your mom backing up."
Anyways, since we're
Yeah, okay, maybe we should
back to
focus.
the actual
Okay.
game. Back to the actual game. I guess it's all too late for introductions, but
In the top left, kind of in the red turn.
the turn. MyDarling currently up. What is it? 3-1 now against the B team.
Yeah. And 0-1 against Rays, right?
Oh yeah, 0-1 against Rays. Should make that very clear. So far it's
And
been-
so Conviction went 15 gas. MyDarling went CC gas. No, she went CC Rax gas. There are 3 ways to go CC first in TVT. You can go CC first and then double Rax. You can go CC first, barracks, and then gas, or you can go CC first, gas, and then barracks. And they're all greedy in like different ways. Like the 2 Rax is like much safer against Reaper, but it leaves you very vulnerable to more tech-based attacks. Like, I feel like the 2 Rax is the safest one on this map because it is large enough that you'll sort of be able to, with a scan, figure out what she's doing and get up adequate defenses in time.
What is this game?
And yeah, he's poking around with some Marines. Shouldn't get too much done, maybe kill a few SCVs, which will equalize the fact that she got a faster expansion.
Oh yeah,
But
just
the build-
amount of SCVs pulled right now.
Yeah, it is losing mining time, but the build does favor her because he's going for an early expand, but she's going for like an earlier expand. So
Uh-huh.
It looked more like he got confused and thought he was facing Zerg.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's the Reaper?
Did you guys see the have you guys been watching Pro League at all?
Mm-mm.
Not me, no. What happened?
Yong did this really insane build with Solar where he opened 15 gas with 2 Marines then a reactor, and then at 6:30 he attacked with it was 8 Marines, 9 SCVs, and 4 Hellbats off of 2 bases.
Oh my. Look, Mark, what Conviction has seen. I'm sure he's very familiar with MyDarling's style now. So I mean, you'd think he'd do something that would hard counter mech. What would you do in Mark's position right now?
Are you talking to me or talking to Soulstone?
Yeah, to you.
Okay, with the build he's going, I'd go for a Marine tank push because she's shown that she likes to open up with a lot of Hellions early on, and, like, because, again, like, you can go for Hellions for the map control, or you can go for Marine tank for the ability to take a faster 3rd CC and have it be safe. but leave you for like a weaker mech transition, but more economy to do it, basically. And she's shown that she likes to do the Hellions into the fast third CC, which is very greedy, which is like how, in my game, she ended up taking a lot of damage from the first tank push, where it killed quite a few of her Hellbats or tanks, forced a lot of lost mining time, killed some tech labs and stuff like that. So, yeah, she's going for Hellion Raven and probably following it up with a few Vikings. And so basically what he can do from here is, I'd prefer him to get a reactor on the starport, tech lab in the factory, and then just keep pumping out Marines, and then go tank Viking, and then have more Vikings, and so that way her air advantage is nullified. And then you just have Marine tank on the ground. You can abuse this little cliff right by the bunker.
Well, similar to how you're game against her, right? You got the upper hand on the Vikings. You abuse the position.
Yeah, and then especially what you can do with that, if you are planning on doing that early enough, is get out like one Banshee with or without cloak, and then just do a push with air superiority. A nice Widowmine drop, but I don't know how much damage it's going to get done. Yeah, because that only kills 2 workers, because what you want to do is drop a few more units with that, because it brings SCVs down to 5 HP, and then they get one-shotted by Marines. So there were 4 SCVs that all had 5 HP, so if like he had brought along 4 Marines and had an epic target firing, he could have actually killed like 6 more workers than he did.
Okay. Medevac unfortunately does not make it out.
Yeah, I feel like that was a bit of a waste, because now that really, even though like it did some damage, it's really going to limit his capabilities to put on more aggression later, and you can see he is going into his own mech build. And MyDarling, this choice of builds does actually favor Conviction, because he's got an earlier 3rd CC, it's already landed, hers is just starting, he's going to have a lot more production early on. Like, she's floating a lot of money and she's just not making anything.
Yeah, I think this is where just knowing what she's going to do and able to, like, abuse your own builds, what Conviction is doing.
Yeah, like, Conviction is doing, it's not an optimized build, but it's focusing a lot on unit production and getting economy, whereas her build's just, like, she got the tools she needed to defend anything, and except she played a little bit too safe, I think, and now Conviction has a leg up in the macro game. And I don't believe she's identified that it's mech yet. She doesn't know. Which means she's probably gonna, in mech vs mech, usually how it turns out is you focus a lot on Hellions and air control in the early stages, and then later on you cut, it's got 3 stages. It's got the first stage with the Hellion Viking Banshee sort of triangle, and then it goes into a stage where you're pretty much going tank Thor and pretty much cutting Hellbats, cutting air production in order to get like a larger army, because once you have like 3 Thors out, then air control doesn't really mean anything unless you're rushing battle cruisers, which is hard to do with mech because you're already spending so much gas. And then eventually, usually it ends somewhere in that stage, because it gets to be really hard to take additional bases when you're both going for these really, really powerful ground-focused armies, and you can easily split off like 4 tanks and siege up a base, and it's hard to deal with that.
Right.
So usually the game ends in the 1st or 2nd phase, but then eventually it gets to the point where it's like Raven, Battlecruiser, Viking, and it just gets really,
back and
really
forth,
stupid. Yeah, that's what, those are the games that I try to avoid at all costs. And another thing is in mech vs mech, you're going to focus a lot less on turrets. Like, even these 3 turrets in our natural is a bit excessive, because it's not going to stop Hellbats from unloading, but, and 1 turret will kill the medevac just as well as those 3 turrets will. So what basically you want to do is put 1 turret in your mineral line, and then focus on pulling away your SCVs and sending back Hellions. So, yeah, Conviction's got a much larger army, and I don't know if he'll be able to push in here, though. Does he have... Yeah, he does have an armory, so he can morph. He might be waiting for +1/+1, but it's quite far off for him. I don't think he can push in here, especially with Hellbats, because if he goes in with Hellbats, the Hellions can kite back and kill them all, and if he goes with Hellions, then the tanks will do a lot more damage to them. So what he should be doing now is trying to get a 4th, and cutting Viking production, throwing down like 3 more factories, and just like getting a whole bunch of tank Thor. Like, you really don't need, for the most part, armor upgrades aren't that important. I'd much rather him be focusing more on unit production and just getting the attack upgrades. Think of it like PvP, where, I mean, yeah, they do help, but when it gets to the stage where it's mostly tank Thor, like, 1 armor isn't going to make much of a difference versus a Thor shot or, like, a tank shot.
Right.
So MyDarling is going the air control route, so she's going for a lot of Vikings, a lot of Banshees. Conviction needs to recognize this and get out Thors. It's a bit too late to take the air advantage himself, seeing as how she's already making Vikings and a Thor, and she's got a full energy Raven.
Right.
So the Raven's going to be the big thing, because you can fight like 6 Vikings if you only have 4 if you have like a PDD, because it means that their Vikings just aren't doing damage. So it lets you survive with a lot fewer air units, so he should recognize that and move into entirely ground production. And he is landing his 4th. And he's making 3 more command centers, wow.
Also, one difference, MyDarling has 3 Banshees here.
Yeah, that's the thing. He can't really be pushing in here. The Marines help a little bit, but it's so hard to control with the rest of your army because you usually don't want them on the same hotkey, because when you do have them on the same hotkey as the rest of your army, you have to go to a separate hotkey to siege your tanks, because Stim takes priority over siege mode.
Oh, MyDarling actually sneaking some Hellions past. They will be
Yeah,
spotted.
he is spotting that. He should be able to deal with that. Conviction,
oh
I feel, ooh, he raises the ego. I feel like his inexperience with mech is sort of showing a little bit here, because what he's doing with the mass CC is something that you'd see more when you're prepping for late game, but at the same time he's not throwing down starports, he's throwing down more factories, which is more
like an imitation at this point of what partially mech is.
Yeah, he should be going for, because with what he's doing with all the factories, it's a more mineral-focused army. Like, I mean, compared to, like, Bio, it's still very gas-focused, but compared to Sky Terran, it's very mineral-focused. Like, minerals are often your, what's the word, limiting resource when you're playing Tank Thor versus Tank Thor. Because, especially, it'll get to a point where you're mining on, like, 2 or 3 bases of minerals, but you're mining on 4 bases of gas. So it's very important, and you'll be using a lot of scans because mech is super positional, and whoever gets like the tank position advantage usually can take a very favorable engagement. So it's gonna really depend on so yeah, when you get to that point, your army size depends on how many minerals you can get, because it's very easy to just throw down a PF, throw it on double gas because, oh, mech takes gas, not minerals. And then you're using all your scouts in your army and you realize you have like 4,000 gas, but you have no minerals, you can't afford any tanks, can't afford any Thors. Oh, looks like some sacrificial Marines running through here.
Very interesting. Do you think, I mean, she's going to have to try to break this eventually, but possibly when these Thors come, or...
Yeah, with what Conviction is doing, I wouldn't mind seeing him build missile turrets in this position and try to take a 5th base, because yeah, that was nice there. Because what's gonna happen is he has the better economy, but MyDarling has the better army with all these Ravens. So eventually he's not going to be able to hold on to this position anymore, and he's going to need to take a decent favorable trade to the point where he can make enough units by the time she comes back that to his base that he can sort of survive. Alternatively, he could like leave some leave a few tanks over here or something, and then try to counterattack when she moves out. Because at this point, it is becoming sort of like a 3-base all-in. Like she's trying to float out 1 command center now. He really should be patrolling Hellions just to make sure she's not taking hidden bases.
Right. I mean, really, what you gotta think, like, what in MyDarling's position, what can she do? And
yeah, and he's got so many starports. Conviction in the corner of the map, which means he should be looking to take sort of a trade here and then remax with a lot more air units. But because MyDarling already has Thors and already has Viking Raven, he should be looking to get out something like Thor BC Viking. But yeah, at this point, this is working out really well for MyDarling. Conviction's not dead by any means, because he does have the capability to remake that army very quickly. But as you can see now, even though he's up on bases, he's the one that has no money, whereas
Right.
MyDarling is bank because
And here we go. The bus.
yeah, that bad fight, and then his units are all out of position. Like the Hellbats are all in the back, which is a terrible position.
It actually can't get any worse than that.
Yeah, this is over now.
I think he should have expected the push, after he lost all the tanks in the front.
Yeah, he really needed to back off there, because now this army should just steamroll over whatever he has.
He really just has nothing. I mean, he's
Yeah.
got 4 Thors on the way. But
What MyDarling should actually do here is focus on denying a base, because what Conviction did was he spent a whole bunch of money on infrastructure, but he's only one base ahead, which means that he's gonna have to take really good fights, and he's gonna, with the amount of infrastructure he has, he wants to be maxed for a while to build a bank to be able to actually use all of it after a fight, and he just wasn't maxed for long enough to have that bank. Like, he was maxed for maybe, 2 minutes, which he would have needed, 10k to be able to produce out of actually all the stuff that he has. Instead, it just turns out to be basically wasted money because he's got 6 starports, 7 starports, and he's only actually making one Raven. And, okay, now he's making Vikings, but before, he was only actually using one of them, which means that the rest was just wasted money. Because MyDarling doesn't have the same production. It's 8 factories to 6, it's 8 starports to 4. So he's got 6 more production buildings, but he can't actually use. So that means MyDarling has just invested more in the army, and she's proven that she's the one who's taking better fights than him. Even here, his tank, this push should beat his army. You can't siege up halfway through the battle, it's just not gonna work.
all this might actually just be over here.
Yeah, his tanks were all in one ball instead of all spread out, which meant that the ones in the back just weren't firing. So yeah, that's it. GG.
Yeah. That's really interesting observation in that, he had so much infrastructure, but he just literally could not produce out of it.
Yeah,
whereas MyDarling,
that's just an experience thing at that stage of the game, because he was you can do that, but that's what you do when you know your opponent isn't moving out. That's what you do when you have secured 5-6 bases. And I didn't talk about it that game, but his choice of a 5th base was very close to MyDarling, and I believe he only landed it out after he had lost the engagement, which was, it sort of works if your army is already in that position, because then it's an insanely easy to defend base because your army is already there. And it puts pressure on MyDarling because that's the base that she probably wants to take.
Right.
But, yeah. So are we playing out more games, Travis?
I think that's it. She won for the one.
I think you should put me in for the rest of the games.
I don't think there are any more games, Jace.
Yeah, put me in. See, if I can win 3 in a row, then it's 4-4, then it goes to an ace match.
You can redeem yourself? I'm sure you could challenge her on...
What do you mean, redeem myself?
Redeem the B team.
What do you mean, redeem myself, Travis? I'm the one who won.
Yeah, you don't need to redeem yourself. But anyway, so next week, it won't be MyDarling, but next week we'll have another A-teamer.
Next week we'll have Raze versus
Raze
the A-team,
B-team.
right, Travis?
Oh, Raze versus the A-team?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Maybe one of these weeks will be.
Yeah, and versus every single person, Raze has 3 lives and the A-teamer has 1 life, so Raze only has to win 1 game to beat that person, and the other person has to win 3 games versus me, so...
That would be interesting. But anyways, we'll leave that for later. So,
well, no, that'd be a stupid format, because then I could just coin flip every game, and one of them would probably work.
That's true. 2x, just all of them.
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
And they're all freaking delirious and, I don't know what he's going for. The last 3 games he went proxy 2x. Maybe this game he won't do it.
Yeah,
No
the last 10 games, he's built 2 barracks. Maybe he'll go CC first this game.
Maybe Travis is playing on his account.
Maybe Travis is actually gonna macro this game.
Yeah, against the top 16 GM Zerg. Bio Ice. Yeah, probably not. But anyways, I think that's it. So I'll probably have these mods uploaded to YouTube sometime.
I think you should put me in, Travis.
You can go fly a kite.
It's cold outside, Travis, and it's dark. I wouldn't be able to see the kite, which would defeat the point of flying it.
Sometimes.
Unless I had a kite
it's-
large enough to lift me up, in which case I would know that I was flying a kite.
Have you ever attached a flashlight to a kite?
Actually, I haven't.
Well, you should do that.
I think it'd work better with like a disco ball.
I don't think you'd be able to get the kite off the ground.
You can get small disco balls. You can just get like some really obnoxious circular strobe light.
But what, attached to the kite?
Yeah. There's like something like the size of, like, I don't know, like an egg.
I can see that. Well, let's save that for some sciencey episode.
Oh yeah,
Test
the
flying
Team
kites.
Ascension science stream.